We've made it to the end of 2022, so let's talk about my most anticipated movies of 2023. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben. On this channel, I love to talk about movies and TV, and if you also love to talk about movies and TV, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. A couple things before we get started. Be sure to let me know down below in the comment section what movies are you looking forward to most for this next year. I might be looking forward to a movie more than you are. That's okay. Just let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you watched my video last year, there were a couple movies on that list that didn't even come out in 2022. So it is very possible that some of these movies won't even come out in 2023. I tried to pick movies that all have a specific release date for this year, or movies that are slated to come out in 2023. But with that being said, let's get started. I have a couple honorable mentions. At number 15, we have Missing, the newest movie, I guess, in the Searching franchise now. This is not exactly a sequel to the 2018 movie Searching, a movie that I definitely enjoyed. The movie was a big surprise for me, and this movie seems like another movie that's just gonna keep me on the edge of my seat. It comes out in January, so we'll see if it's any good. I know January movies have a track record of not being the greatest movies. Fingers crossed though, I hope this is another great movie. At 14, we have the newest movie in the Rocky franchise, Creed 3. This time around, we have Michael B. Jordan stepping in the director's chair as well. This is going to be his first directorial effort, and I can't wait to see what he does behind the camera now. It's also the first Rocky movie without Sylvester Stallone himself. I know there's a bunch of controversy surrounding that. We'll see if this movie is able to just be another good Rocky movie without him in it. I have a feeling it's going to be good though. Plus Jonathan Majors, who's going to have a damn good 2023. He is stepping in the role as the villain of this movie. In the trailer, I could already see him and Michael B. Jordan having good chemistry, butting heads with one another, so I'm hoping that this is another great Rocky movie. Next is Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1. Like many of you, I am a fan of the Mission Impossible franchise, what this franchise is able to do when Tom Cruise is scaling a building or riding on the side of an airplane as it's thousands of miles up in the air. He continues to do new and exciting things for the action genre, breaking boundaries, and it looks like in this movie he's going to be jumping off of a motorcycle off of a very high cliff. I get chills every time I see that sequence in the trailer. I can't wait to see it in IMAX on the big screen. Tom Cruise just came off of an incredible year with Top Gun Maverick being, spoiler alert, my favorite movie of 2022. I can't wait to see this one. Next is Shazam! Fury of the Gods, another movie that was supposed to come out in 2022, and it looks like it might be one of the final movies of the DCEU. Because DC is now helmed by James Gunn and Peter Safran, they have two new heads, and it's going to be its own division. Warner Bros. Is doing a bunch of reworking along with James Gunn and Peter Safran. It looks like they're going to be creating a whole new universe with a whole bunch of new characters, probably a couple recasting. So this very well could be Zachary Levi's final appearance as the character of Shazam. The first Shazam felt like a breath of fresh air. It was a fun family movie. I hope this movie follows in that movie's footsteps. I just love Zachary Levi as the titular character. And finally, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. This is now the second movie on this list that features Jonathan Majors in this movie. He is going to be the villain as well in this movie. We've already seen him appear in the MCU as Kang before, but this is his first movie where I think he's really going to sink his teeth into the role. He's supposedly the next big bad after Thanos. And even from the trailer, he already seems like a menacing threat. I can't wait for this movie. Apparently it's supposed to feel like an Avengers level movie according to Peyton Reed, writer-director of the Ant-Man movies. I feel like this movie's going to set up a lot of big things for the following movies in the MCU. But coming in at number 10, the newest Disney live-action remake, The Little Mermaid. Now this movie boosted up the rankings into my top 10 after seeing that teaser trailer just a couple months back in September at D23 when we really saw Halle Bailey. It was just like a 10 to 15 second clip in that trailer of her singing Part of Your World. And it damn near blew me away. If you saw my trailer reaction, my jaw was on the floor. I was really impressed by her vocal cords. Plus this movie has a great supporting cast: Daveed Diggs, Awkwafina, Jacob Tremblay, and Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. Hopefully it adds something new to the classic story and it isn't just like a lifeless remake like Disney's 2022 movie of Pinocchio. And number 9, Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. Now, the first Spider-Man animated movie of this series now. I don't think we all were expecting just how good that movie was. To some it is the definitive Spider-Man movie even. Surprisingly enough, the first official trailer that we've seen for this movie so far, I thought it was pretty bad. It just didn't really do much for my excitement level, and I think it was just cool seeing a couple of the Spider-Man that we're going to see in this movie. But regardless, I'm excited to see more Spider-Man like I just mentioned. I just want this to be another solid follow-up to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And number 8, David Fincher's movie that doesn't have a specific release date as of now, The Killer. This is David Fincher's newest movie that's gonna also go to Netflix. Stars Michael Fassbender and Tilda Swinton. Fincher is re-teaming with Seven writer Andrew Kevin Walker. I'm a huge fan of Seven. Brad Pitt is also producing this movie. And Fincher has just made some of my favorite movies of all time with Gone Girl, The Social Network, Seven, like I said. Plus, Michael Fassbender is honestly one of the most underutilized actors in Hollywood, I feel. You guessed it, it's about a guy who is a serial killer. I love eerie, dark movies like that, which is weird for me to say. But hopefully this is a better Fincher movie than Mank. Another movie that is coming up pretty soon here is Knock at the Cabin, M. Night Shyamalan's newest movie. This comes out the first week of February, and I was immediately sold on this movie from the first trailer. I know this movie is based off of a book. I know nothing about the book, and I want to know nothing else about this movie. I saw the first trailer, obviously got a brief glimpse of what the plot was going to be. I was immediately sold on that. It's got great cast, Dave Bautista, Rupert Grint, Jonathan Groff. It's another M. Night Shyamalan movie. Hopefully he doesn't fumble the bag. I've heard the original book is crazy. I'm all on board. At number 6, a movie that probably a lot of you aren't even looking forward to, but one that I'm very curious to see what it's all about. The Flash. According to a couple test screenings and Warner Bros. Studio execs, they have a lot of faith in this movie. The test screenings have been very highly rated, so I just can't wait to see what they do for this movie. It's supposed to have a big effect on the DCEU, but now that we're not going to see more of it, I wonder how that'll take place into it all. Ben Affleck is returning as Batman, as well as Michael Keaton. Aside from the numerous controversies aside with its star, I still am looking forward to seeing The Flash on the big screen in his own movie. And it is also just crazy to think about that this movie was announced when the Flash TV show was airing. Now it's going to come out the same year that the Flash TV show is ending. Bringing us into our top 5 is Christopher Nolan's newest movie, Oppenheimer. This movie's release date is going head to head with another big movie that you're going to see higher up on this list. It's going to be the battle of the two studios, Warner Brothers and Universal. After Christopher Nolan was disappointed with how Warner Brothers delivered his last movie, Tenet, he moved over to Universal. Universal gave him a big budget to do whatever movie he wanted. The next movie that he wanted to make was a true story about Oppenheimer, the man who created the atomic bomb. Now, supposedly Christopher Nolan recreated an actual bomb explosion for this movie. How? Where? No idea. But I'm just looking forward to this movie just to see that on the big screen, if that only. It is one of the most stacked casts in Hollywood history, really. Christopher Nolan has also made some of the best movies of all time, along with a couple of my favorites. Sign me up for this one. Number 4, the highly anticipated Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Still not the biggest fan of that title, but I am a big fan of the character of Indiana Jones. An interesting fact that might come off as very surprising to most of you, I have only seen the first and second Indiana Jones. I'm just looking forward to binging the series, finally watching the third and fourth movie for the first time ever. While I haven't seen the entire franchise, I can easily say that Raiders is one of the best action adventure movies of all time, if not the greatest. James Mangold is helming this movie now, not Steven Spielberg, though he is producing. This is most likely the final time that we'll see Harrison Ford rock that classic hat, so I'm there. And this top 3 is pretty crazy. Coming in at number 3 is the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Yes, I know this is pretty high up on this list. What can I say? I'm just so excited for this movie. The animation looks stunning. The voice cast is superb. From the 2 trailers that I've seen, it looks like this movie really captures that Nintendo vibe. I have high hopes in this movie. I think it's going to be pretty good. Also, it could really just be the first movie that is going to set up a Nintendo universe. Regardless of if this movie is good or not, as long as it makes money, it'll set up a universe. I really do hope it's good though, and we get to see Mario Kart in a movie. That's awesome. And number 2, James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This movie was probably always going to have a spot on this list regardless of whether it was high up or lower down, but it wasn't until I saw the first teaser trailer for this movie that I got overly excited for it. I cannot wait for this movie because of how great that trailer was. I really hope that trailer was not misleading because this movie has the potential to be like top 10 MCU. It looks emotional with a lot of stakes. I know it is very easy for companies to make trailers that are misleading and they might lead you into a movie that you think is going to be good. It's actually not that great, but it's James Gunn for Pete's sake. The first Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the most critically acclaimed movies in the MCU. The second one as well is still really good, and I just have an attachment to this family now that we know, the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I am not emotionally prepared for what is going to go on with Rocket Raccoon in this movie. I'm not ready. But coming in at first place, the movie that is so surprising for me to have up on this highest list, I know, Barbie. Greta Gerwig's next movie that stars Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, Simu Liu, Will Ferrell, America Ferrera, Kate McKinnon, Michael Cera is going to be in this movie. Need I go on? I mean, that top 4 really, I'm in. I have no idea what this movie's about. Obviously, it's gonna have something to do with Barbie. We know that. I don't know who this movie is for. Is it for younger audiences? Is it for families? Is it for older audiences? It very well could be an all of the above answer. The little 90-second teaser that we got, it was just paying homage to 2001: A Space Odyssey. In the final 10 seconds or so were a couple key flashes of stills from the movie. It's hard for me to honestly put into words how excited I am for this movie. It's really because of the cast and crew behind it. But Barbie is my most anticipated movie of 2023. But guys, that is it. Those are my most anticipated movies of this next year. Be sure to once again let me know down below in the comment section, what movies are you looking forward to most? I can't wait to see your picks, and let me know if there's any movies that I missed mentioning on my list. I just want to thank you so much for watching this video, and if you did enjoy it, again, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, plus that notification bell so you don't miss any further videos. And as always, look forward to more videos coming soon. My name is Ben, people call me Meter, and I'll see you guys in the next one.